Hey guys, welcome back to Chasing Mania. For those of you who are new, I am Andy J, and this channel we talk about all things bipolar. Just want to put that out there that I am the subject matter expert of bipolar 1 disorder only because I've been living with it for the majority of my life. I am not a professional. I repeat, I am not a professional. So all views and opinions on this channel are mine and mine alone. This does not replace any type of medical advice, and it does not represent any type of diagnosis. So with that, let's get started. Today I want to do part 2 of things that only people with bipolar disorder would find hilarious. So I did the first half, and I saw some other ones, and I wanted to kind of go over these too. All right, so let's jump right in. So this one says, when you're manic, nothing makes you angrier than someone suggesting you're irritable. So those of you who know me and my personal situation, this one definitely hits home. It definitely hits home. And I actually think that this should be out there for not just people with bipolar disorder. But there's something about like when you have this rage and you're irritated and then somebody says you're irritable that makes you even more irritable, and you're just like, and it's like a cycle, and it's just like, just shut up, don't say anything, just shut up, right? That's not realistic, and of course that's, and you playing into your mania. But yeah, this one definitely hits home. That's a good one. Ugh. Okay, so manic episodes give you a heightened sex drive, which makes it unfortunate that you can't maintain any relationships. So I was having this conversation with someone. Like, I am in a loving, committed relationship at the moment. Hasn't always been like that. So just depending on what state of relationship you're in will determine how good or bad that hypersexuality is. I do have to say, all guys are like, woo, hypersexual, I'm getting it all the time. No, that's what you think. It's frustrating when it's like that's all you can think about all day, every day. Like, you could just like get done, and then be like, all right, cool, what next? And it's not you, it's not your performance. It could be the best performance of my entire life. It doesn't matter. It's not doing anything for me. What's next? And it's not that I'm dismissing it or anything, but that's just unfortunately the disorder. So yeah, that hypersexuality is a beast. The other thing is, if you're in a committed relationship, cool, you have access to that if that's something that you guys are doing. But if you're not in a relationship, oh Lord, it can be rough. It can be rough, especially like if you are fairly attractive or if you're a woman in general. But I guess I'm going down a slippery slope now, so I'm just gonna come back to these. All right, the next one. You can't sleep at nights, which would be okay if you had more insomniacs for friends. Yeah. I actually just started on a medication. Well, I've been on it for a while, but I just changed some dosages that really helps me to go to sleep. But when I am in full mania, I don't go to sleep. And it's always like this lonely feeling. Like there's this cutoff. It's usually, and it's like a tapered cutoff. Like you have the one friend that goes to bed at like 8, and then 2 more drop off at like 9, and then 2 more at 10. And by midnight, you're sitting there like, somebody gonna talk to me? And that's when you find like an online presence that's in like a completely different time zone, and then you're like, oh, I got friends all over the globe. And yeah, yeah. And then the other part is, you don't wake up feeling like, oh, I'm so tired. I mean, sometimes you do. I'm not saying that you don't, but you just wake up and you're like, la-da-da, I want to do this, and this. And it's like, what were you doing at 2 o'clock in the morning? Oh, I was playing blah, 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 or whatever. So it depends on what state that you're in. But yeah, I could definitely relate to that. The next one is, your depressed self probably wouldn't be so depressed if your manic self didn't make so many commitments for it to keep. Oh, I'm so glad somebody addressed this. So, in my book, Disordered, a personal account of my life with bipolar 1 disorder, I talk about when you met me. So I have 100 different names. I mean, I don't have 100 different names, but currently I go by Andy J. Growing up, I went by Monique. Sometimes, depending on when you met me, it could be Mojo, it could be Big Johnson, it could be Andrea, or Andy Bear, Andy Cake, Andy Flake, Andy Friend, Andy whatever. And it depends on what state of mind I've been in. One of the things I hated was when Manic Andy would make plans and then Depressed Andy had to follow through with them. I would look at my calendar and remember in the past I said if it's not written down, it's not getting done. And so I would flip through a couple of pages and just be like, what the hell? What the hell am I supposed to? What is going on with this? And it'd be like back to back to back to back things that I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, do I sound like an asshole and completely cancel because I'm not feeling it? Or do I keep this commitment knowing good and well it's going to drain all of my energy because Manic Andy was on her shit? So it always puts me in a tough situation. The other thing is like the people that I meet. Like sometimes Manic Andy like wants to go out and party and do all the things that Depressed Andy is like bleh. And so like I meet all of these people and they're like, hey, you were such a different vibe when we met you. Yeah, you weren't meeting me. You were meeting Manic Andy. So anyways, on to the next one. If you could cycle as quickly as your moods, you'd be the next Lance Armstrong. Okay, so this actually is a little bit misleading unless you have a subsect of the disorder called rapid cycling. Now, there's this big controversy between in the medical bipolar community or whatever about what rapid cycling really means. Rapid cycling technically means that you go from a manic state to a depressed state relatively quickly, and you have these episodes. I want to say it's more than 4 times a year. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. This suggests that your moods are up and down and up and down and up and down. Those are mood swings. And yes, mood swings are characteristic of somebody with bipolar disorder, but those are different than episodes. So you're not going into full mania or full depression. Your moods are high or low. And so I think that sometimes people confuse rapid cycling with mood swings. But either way, they still suck, like both of them. I personally am a rapid cycler, and so I can go into mania. Like, it's going to happen. I go through manic stages, and it happens about 3-4 times a year. Every year without fail, just the severity of it changes. So, all right, what do we got? I think I literally just said this one. It says you meet the same person at 2 different parties and have to convince them that you're not your pain in the ass twin brother. Yeah, I literally just said this one in reference to the other one. Like, there's Manic Andy and then there's Andy or Monique or Mojo or whatever it is that you used to call me. But yeah, it is a thing. It is definitely a thing. And it's like, people are like, well, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't have enough time in a day to tell you what's wrong with me. But I can understand the confusion. It's like, when I tell you it's night and day, it is like completely night and day. And differences not just in like how I act and how I talk. It's also in how I dress, how I do my makeup. I've had times that my accent has changed. Like, whew, that was a whole different thing. But it's like this is a whole different person, and you're just like, okay, what do I do with that? So I don't know. It's funny whenever I look at like videos of Manic Andy versus Depressed Andy, or like look at some of the pictures that I have, or you know how Facebook or Instagram would be like, this time last year, and it's like, ugh, what the hell was I doing? And it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool to look back and see like what state of mind you were in, but it's also kind of scary at the same time. All right. Friends say you're the life and soul of the party, but you avoid parties like the plague. Yes, yes, yes. I think that's one of the things that my boyfriend absolutely loves about me is that I am a homebody. You do not have to worry about me partying or clubbing or any of that because I don't do that anymore. Some of y'all are like, hold up. Back when we was in Colorado, I know, ma'am. I know what you're about to say. Okay, I was a whole different person. I was not medicated. I didn't understand my disorder. But now, medicated, stable Andy does not party. It's not because I don't like to meet new people or dance or, whatever. It's exhausting. It's emotionally exhausting. I don't know if it's a disorder, if most of us happen to be empaths or not, but I'm an introvert. Contrary to popular belief, I am an introvert. Like, at the end of the day, when I am peopling, I am so drained and my battery is on like E. So, wait, empty. What, you know, my batteries are gone. It needs to be recharged. So I definitely feel that. So it's just a lot easier for me to avoid the party. Also, if I do go to the party, I'm leaving, and I'm the jerk about leaving. Like, I feel uncomfortable leaving the party early, so I'm the person that, like, as soon as I get in, I look around and I'm like, okay, how can I map like a sneak out, and then text later like, oh, I'm so sorry, this happened, and yada yada. Same thing happens on like a Zoom call. If I'm on a Zoom call, it'll be like, instead of me getting off and saying, hey, I got something to do, it'll be like, I'm sorry, my computer just froze. Yeah, because I unplugged it. Sorry guys. All right, you have I like this one. You've cried on the pizza delivery guy's shoulder. Listen, DoorDash. It's not even pizza delivery. It's like DoorDash. Like, there's several people in DoorDash that know me, and based off of my order, like, I've had some moments. I've had some meltdowns. It's a shame. Like, something happened the other day that DoorDash charged me. Oh, I ordered from Chipotle, right? And I ordered a bowl, and I ordered some guacamole with it. And they sent me a bowl of guacamole, like one of the bowls, like the little oval bowl with nothing but guacamole in it. And I was like, no, this is not what I ordered. So I go back through my order, and I'm like, man, this is weird. Call the store, had them deliver something else, and they send me back with a bowl of guacamole. And I'm like, what? So I called DoorDash, and they're like, oh, you're a VIP. And I'm like, dang, that's not quite the flex I thought it was gonna be. So, like, yeah, DoorDash people, like, they've definitely walked in on some stuff where I'm just like, oh, give me my Chinese food. Yeah. All right, and then last but not least, it says you've been told the warranty on your car does not cover existential crisis. Okay, yeah. I've had some times where I wanted to get in my car and do some random things, and some of those included driving to Niagara Falls for New Year's, which was fun, not gonna lie. But some of the other things are like, you know, I'm driving to North Carolina and back, and I just, you know, do some things. So, like, I do get this one. I definitely do get this one. So I think that there's a little bit of humor to that one, but, you know, not as funny as the other ones. But anyways, I really loved this list. I really loved taking a step back and just kind of laughing at myself and seeing myself in all of these situations. And hopefully you can see a little bit of humor and make a little bit of light of the disorder that you may have or someone that you love may have. And then, even though we do go through a lot, we go through our struggles, we go through our medications, our hospitalizations, and it's something that we have to deal with for the rest of our lives, it doesn't mean that we can't enjoy the ride. And trust me, it is a fucking roller coaster. So anyways, thanks guys for tuning in, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.